Welcome to the Beasts of the NFC EAST. I'm your host, Sean Gnitzcavich, with my co-host, Jeremy Goode. Jeremy Goode, Week 5 is done. What is good?
Tyrone Tracy.
Tyrone
You ever heard of him,
motherfucking
Sean?
Tracy, dude. I've been waiting for him to be unleashed, and I think he's finally here. And you know what? I picked him up in my fantasy right before this, even though I dropped Chase Brown, who looks pretty good too. Doesn't really matter. I'd rather have Tyrone Tracy. He's my boy. But yes, I do love Tyrone Tracy.
It might be a little
Thank you for
premature
the
to
call.
say, and I think Singletary's
Yeah.
still a good player. I think Tracy's more of a feature back than Singletary.
100%.
Also because Singletary's 5'6" too. But yeah, that's Giants' big win. Jalen didn't turn the ball over this week, which I love. He
Yeah.
might have been on bye, but
Well, Jalen
3-0
Milroe
for-
did, though.
yes, but his completion numbers are still crazy. But they everyone won besides the Eagles, obviously on bye, which is in a way I think a win for them. So 3-0, different games. Some poor play in the division, but also good play I think from the Giants and Washington.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, ultimately got the win, an ugly win. And yeah, it wasn't the best game. There was some sloppy mistakes, but also the
Without
Cowboys
Micah
are
too.
a little hamstrung, and they dealt with some injuries throughout the game too. Which I think the biggest loss of that Cowboys game is the injuries, especially playing Detroit next week. But yeah, we are going to recap all these Week 5 NFC East games. Before we do that, anything you want to talk about? I saved two little dogs right before the games on Sunday. They showed up at my front door. There was this one bigger Ewok looking dog and this one really tiny little
oh my God.
I guess Wizard of Oz looking dog, And dude, it looks like they were just Toto, yeah, Toto. And I walk outside. This is during halftime of the Vikings Jets game because we were watching that.
Sure.
And these two little dogs are just at my front step, and it looks like they've literally been probably wandering and fending for themselves for 3 months.
Oh.
And then since it's Nashville, none of animal control is open. I have a bunch of pets, but anyways, dude, they were just disgustingly dirty, matted dreadlocks, but
I bet.
we saved them. And this one dog, the bigger dog, was kind of angry and wouldn't get near you. Anyways, we gave him a bath. My neighbor helped us. He took him in and turned it around. I was like, man, that good deed.
I think so. You earned that
I should have put
Giants
all
win.
of my money on the Giants after that.
Well, let's not get too crazy.
Yeah, well, no.
I will say, I think that look at you. First of all, that's great. I hope
it was a group effort. Coral was in it. Yeah, my neighbor Nico.
Yes.
Yeah, we all worked together.
Young hearts at play. Love that. And to dive right into with the Giants, it probably was a great juju. And they also, I think, got the best win for what it's worth going into Seattle. Yeah. Good Seattle team. I know they're coming off of that loss from Detroit, right?
From Detroit, but it was that.
You would think they'd be hungrier, and they're at home. Impressive, but go ahead, your team, your show. Go ahead, let me hear it.
This is our show, Jeremy, but I do have a lot to say here. The New York Football Giants, man, marching into Seattle, 29-20. You could say the Giants had. We played Thursday night. We had the longer week. Seahawks played Monday. They were a little bit shorter. Doesn't matter. Seahawks are at home. We've now played them, I think, 3 years in a row. And last year, they decimated us with essentially the same team. Obviously different head coach, different offensive coordinator, whatever. This was a totally different showing. Daniel Jones
kind of played them tight last year until the pick six.
Oh, yeah. It was still sloppy. It was just an ugly
no
game.
doubt.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I was actually looking at the numbers from last year, and same amount of passing attempts for Daniel Jones, much different result.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, Dexter Lawrence, defensive player of the year game. Sexy Dexy. That's why I had to bust the shirt back out. I was doing the dance all day. Tyrone motherfucking Tracy. Love that guy. I am so happy that he was able to just emerge and just looks good And I think all the Giants fans are kind of like you said, jumping to the conclusion this guy might be like it's not going to be Devin Singletary 75% and then Tyrone Tracy to spell him. I think it's going to be 50-50. And who
Yeah.
knows moving forward. But I think that Tyrone Tracy, if he keeps playing and running the way he did, running hard, he had two big explosive runs of plus 20 yards. I think he had like 4 of plus 10. Like he was just unstoppable. And then Darius Slayton, put some respect on Darius Slayton. Malik Neighbors, I think me, like a lot of other Giants fans, were I was so just kind of defeated because I feel like it's just been a Malik Neighbors show. And I forgot, guess what? We have other great players who can step up, and Darius Slayton is one of them. Jalen Hyatt is not one of them, although he did get a couple of holding calls, and because he's just so fast, and that's thank you, Jalen Hyatt.
Counts for something.
Yeah, but he did not win any of my bets, considering he did absolutely nothing. But yeah, the defense played amazing. DJ Davidson had 2 sacks. Brian Burns had a beautiful sack. I mean, he kind of went unblocked, but still, I mean, when you get that look, you have to execute like that. Yeah, Andrew Phillips had a good game. Kayvon played well. It was just all around a good Giants game, despite it looking very sloppy. Oh, and like the biggest play of the game, Isaiah Simmons, dude, what a dog winning that game and blocking that field goal that would have tied the game and put us into overtime. Like, I felt good about the Giants because of how we were playing. I thought, you know what, we're going to take this even if they do tie it up. But way to seal the game. Like Isaiah Simmons, who hasn't been utilized that much on defense, some people criticize, like, why are you even bringing him back? Because people like that, Isaiah Simmons, he has all these tools, and he's such an athletic freak. Like, maybe we haven't been able to put it together on defense, but use that in special teams. And he did. He just hopped right over the line, blocked that kick, the game-tying kick beautifully, and then Bryce Ford-Wheaton, another a UDFA that could have went drafted, a wide receiver that some people said, why are we keeping this guy over Isaiah Hodgins? For special teams, that guy has wheels. He is fast, and he took it to the house, ends up making it a 9-point game. Giants could have actually beat them, I'd say 35-13 if Eric Gray didn't fumble on the 1-yard line to start the game, which was just weird. And also, CBS played, like, they come back from commercial break after they're reviewing the play, and they're just kicking the field goal for Seattle. And they don't show anything. It looked like he crossed the line. It was like, 50-50, but maybe that was good because that's what because it looked like an Eric Gray game, that drive. Eric Gray had like 2 really nice screens, and then I think that shifted to the Tyrone Tracy game, who, man, he just runs hard. And he didn't even get involved in the passing game. As an ex-wide receiver, I really want to see that unlocked as well. But Daniel Jones spit out the ball. Theo Johnson had a great game. He had a great, I think 15, 16-yard catch for a first down. He just 5 catches for 48 yards. And Darius Slayton, man. Darius Slayton, what a guy. A couple of good deep bombs, too, that Daniel Jones connected with Darius Slayton. So all that, Daniel Jones can't get the ball down the field. He put some dimes. The old, what got Daniel Jones the Danny Dimes nickname was his deep passes to Darius Slayton, and they were revived in this game. And it was just a fun game to watch. Jeremy, I'm sorry. I kind of took over with that rant, but do you have anything to say?
I mean, Daniel Jones played well. I don't know if this is good for the Giants going forward. I know a few fans, and I'm sure there are probably more, but I know a few fans personally who want them to lose so they can have a quarterback next year. I think it's just too many years of doing that, but I get it. If you want a quarterback, you sort of have to do that, and they're just very off Daniel Jones. He's playing good football. It's there's definitely some talent there. I think the ceiling's low ultimately, but Seattle, I still think is a good team. I don't think they're a great team, but I still think they're a good team. I assume Seattle would win this. I also thought they'd cover, even though I think the Giants' defense ultimately will keep them into games. It's just going to be up to the offense to see how they play, which is good and bad for the Giants, I think. But yeah, I mean, now they're saying like, is Neighbors even that good if he doesn't play and the Giants still win?
What? Who's
I'm just,
saying that, Jeremy? Who the hell
I'm
said
saying
that?
that. I'm
That is
saying
a
that.
joke, dude. But
I'm
I do
just
love
kidding.
that. Yeah, no, Malik Neighbors
Um,
is still a
it is
superstar.
always
So
good to
that
win.
gets me excited.
Yeah, I mean, it is always good to win without your best players too. Especially his, and like that was his head when he made contact on that fourth down at the end of the game a few weeks ago was concerning because just because he's small, he's on the smaller end. It was just like it was quicker than I think if a
Mm,
bigger receiver, but it's not good regardless.
yeah.
And you know, went into Seattle, tough flight. East Coast teams, it's just tough for them going to the West Coast more than West Coast or East Coast. Uh, I yeah, it's a great win. I think and everybody like played well ultimately for the Giants. If you look at it, Tracy 7.2 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Uh, Jones gave you 40 yards rushing, which I think is big. I think you need if a quarterback can give you that, and with Daniel Jones who can move, that can be a difference maker in a game like this.
And running
Um,
reckless too, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was like, "Oh, did I tear my ACL and have two neck
yeah,
injuries? I don't care, man. I'm trying to win this game. Everybody's talking like he's like, people don't even think I should be starting, so I might as well give it my all while I am." So I have to give Daniel Jones his respect because that first game against the Vikings, I think we both thought that the Vikings weren't going to be the best defense in the league, which they by far are this year. They've made all of opposing quarterbacks look awful. CJ
right.
Stroud, who some people thought could maybe be an MVP this year. Aaron Rodgers looked like crap. Brock Purdy, everybody's darling, looked awful. If you take that Vikings game out, Daniel Jones has one interception, which was just on like a deep uh, like Hail Mary, which was pretty much just like I would not count that. He had that weird fumble that I don't know if I think it counted as a sack instead of a fumble to start the game. But that was because he tripped on Andrew Thomas. Still a little clunky. Don't love it, but like he's
Yeah,
playing safe football. He's playing efficient football, and he's playing like the quarterback that we paid that contract to. Like, and there's great quarterbacks who have bad games. I think he started off the season, everybody was just ready to throw in the towel. Like I think the
hmm
Vikings, everybody thought was
seen this
a must
before.
win. Yeah. But dude, I mean, it's the Bengals, I think, are a team that we could kind of take advantage of too next week. Defensively, I feel like they've looked a little
Maybe
weak.
they're not a
But
good team. Yeah,
yeah. But it's making me think like there's some exciting prospects in this draft, but if we keep winning games and like what do we take like Quinn and Ewers and it's still early in the draft. Like at this time last year, Jaden Daniels was still like a second round pick, and now he's rookie of the year. So like look at
true.
but it makes me not as like oh my. And also, who wants to lose, man? Who does? Like I get it, like draft picks, but you see even with some of these like Anthony Richardson. I'm sure the Colts were so hyped to get him after a losing season, and he's struggling. And even some of these
Yeah,
rookies that are winning games right now are struggling.
he's
I
very
just
overhyped.
yeah, it's just yeah, especially because Joe Flacco looks
He
so
was
much
n-
better.
he was never amazing at Florida. Flash talents there, but didn't play that much at Florida. Wasn't amazing. Showed like some unreal throws in the NFL, but also has thrown some bad ones. It's just inconsistent. Gets hurt, yeah, but not about him. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think ultimately the Giants, if you have 2 wins in 5 games to start the season, I think it's going to be hard to like start losing, unless like maybe injuries come into play and you're like, wow, we're just not that good. I
yeah,
think the
which
Giants, believe it or
wood,
not,
knock on
at
wood.
2 and 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I think the Giants at 2 and 3 this season, compared to other seasons, just started off too good to.
Oh, sorry, I think you muted yourself real quick. There
Oh
we
my!
go.
Um, I think the Giants have just played too well at this point to
Yeah.
like considered a quote unquote tank.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but and also, but moving forward, because I don't think that the Giants are going to tank regardless, not underneath Brian Daboll, but we're also I think good enough to where Giants could, fingers crossed, hope for a playoff spot, and it's different than like the Cowboys who have Super Bowl aspirations despite not improving their team in the offseason. Like,
Right.
if the Giants make the playoffs, that just gives this entire team hope. That makes the front office want to add pieces that will make them even more of a contender of the year moving forward. If we collapse and we lose out and we have a top 5 pick, like that's when you start moving on from guys like Darius Slayton, like who so many people want to move on from. Darius Slayton is a pretty good contract, I'd say. If he's your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, if you want to keep featuring Wandale as this middle guy, which honestly, I think if anything, it showed that Darius Slayton should be more of your third down wide receiver than Wandale and these little check downs, because we were converting third downs at a much higher rate when we were targeting Darius Slayton. I don't know, past the sticks, like where you should be throwing the ball, not 4 yards short of the first down, and just hope that Wandale Robinson can
hope he
wiggle
makes
through.
A play, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we need that, and there's good pieces on this Giants team. I think now that Tyrone Tracy has finally emerged too, I feel so much better about the run game, because and the Cowboys, will get to them, but they improved their run defense 2 weeks in a row, so maybe it wasn't just Devin Singletary being inadequate, but yeah, there's a lot to be excited about this Giants team still, and I will be at the game next Sunday. So if you're in section 316, come and find me. Very excited for that Sunday night match, but we'll get into that. Yeah, Seahawks, man, and like Geno Smith had that long run, but dude, holding Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, like our run defense did pretty good locking him down, because last season Kenneth Walker ran all over us. Tyler Lockett had a big play, but like holding DK Metcalf to only 55 yards, Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of had that at like that last, end of game resurgent touchdown. He also had that good play where he tricked, I think it was Adoree Jackson and
it's
Tyler
a smart
Newman.
play.
Yeah, very smart play. Which
I guess
allowed,
I would say more people
far.
should. I would say more people should do that. I don't know if like they're ever in like that situation precisely, but I would assume some situations is similar. But yeah, that was a smart play by him.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was man, and Julian Love too, dude. Julian Love was on X Giant. I do love Julian Love, but he was covering Wandale, I believe, on that touchdown. So that was good to see. Our Giants, especially with some of these ex-Giant safeties, cough, Xavier McKinney looking like one of the best safeties of all time with 5 interceptions to start the season. But I digress. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else like big to know here. Like I said, I don't know. Dexter Lawrence is second in QB hits, I believe, on the year, and second in sacks on the year. Not to mention everything else he does in the run game, eating up double teams. If the Giants keep winning, this is another reason I want us to keep winning. If we keep winning and Dexter Lawrence keeps producing like this, man, you can finally have his Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a long season, and
it's a long season. Yeah,
it's also going to be tough as a tackle to go up against edges who will just have more sacks. But yeah, he's in the running.
Yeah, he's playing hot. Which I guess, anything else you want to say about this Giants game, or do you want to move on to the Washington Commanders?
Yeah, let's move on to Washington.
All right, let's do it. Washington Commanders, man, what a homecoming win. And Cleveland Browns continue to look like a bunch of brown things in the toilet because they were poopy. And the Commanders win 34-13. And Jaden Daniels,
who'd you say?
Continues
Cleveland?
to look like Cleveland. Yeah. And Jaden Daniels continues to look like a dare I say, top 5 quarterback in the league, especially with some quarterback play not really living up to it. But, I mean, ran the ball efficiently, 82 yards on the ground, had some dimes to Terry McLaurin and De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown for a touchdown. Terry McLaurin gets stopped at like the 5-yard line to give Brian Robinson a touchdown, who honestly did not run very efficiently. But man, the offense is just multiple. Like just looking at the stat sheet and even just watching the game, it's not like they definitely expanded from 3 weeks ago when they were just throwing screens. Like he's got Terry McLaurin involved. He's got De'Ami Brown, Austin Eckler, Luke McCaffrey, Zach Ertz, Alameda Zacchaeus, Bryson Tremaine, who maybe he shouldn't have because he had one catch for -2 yards. But like, and then everybody, you got Terry McLaurin running. That wasn't very efficient, but you got everybody kind of getting in the game. Jerry McNichols is efficient with a touchdown. Brian Robinson is efficient, and Austin Eckler is still a key piece. Like, and that's just the offense. And the offense is, I think, what's going to be the catalyst for the Commanders moving forward, because their defense has been playing better as of late, but still I have questions about. I mean, you just played one of the worst offenses in the league in the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
But talk about the Frankie Louvu game. He was all over the place. 2.5 sacks. Just awesome being deployed. Dorrance Armstrong continues to look pretty good on the edge with a sack too. And I know that offensive line of the Browns is depleted, but yeah, their defense looked really great. Which you have to do.
They're getting like 135 yards rushing without Daniels. That's
still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps a lot. I think I switched my games. I shouldn't have said that Daniels was pretty accurate because obviously he was around 60% today for this game. Did enough to win. I think Washington knows that they're going up against just an awful team. I think the Browns are just awful in so many ways. And of course, the Eagles play them next, and the Browns will probably win by a lot. But yeah, I think a little bit of a coming down to earth game for Daniels in a way, but I don't think he had to I don't think he really worried about it because they were going to move the ball regardless. He put up 82 yards rushing, which is crazy. And then to have a combination of running backs give him like 135 yards, it's a good recipe. It's a good recipe to win, even when you're not playing the best game, I think, as a quarterback. So, yeah, it's I think Washington are a bit of frauds. Maybe that's a strong word. I just don't know. They haven't beaten anyone that good yet.
Hey, the Giants. I'm kidding.
There you go. And that was one of their worst games I think they played too.
Yeah, dude, the Giants should have won that game.
Right.
That awful, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's great for Washington. Daniels definitely looks like the guy going forward for them. I need to see more. I need to see, even after this year, I need to see multiple years of success, like when we were growing up with quarterbacks with Rodgers, Manning, Brady, even Phillip Rivers, like the guys who just like maintained success for years and years. It didn't have a great year and then faltered for a year or two, and then had a good year and then faltered. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why a lot of these quarterbacks are doing it. But we sort of see that. I'm not saying Daniels is going to do that, but I don't know. I just think they're taking advantage of a lot of bad teams, which is good because there's not been a culture. There's not been, you have to, one, there hasn't been a culture in Washington for years in terms of football. And yeah, I guess getting that quarterback is the ultimate prize, and I think they have it.
Yeah. And, let's not jump to, like, the other quarterbacks, actually, Bo Nix and Caleb Williams have kind of turned it around. Obviously, haven't seen Drake May or Michael Penix. But, dude, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be seeing Michael Penix if Kirk Cousins keeps throwing for over 500 yards.
Yeah, Atlanta needs to trade him.
Yeah, hey, that'd be awesome, dude. But you know what?
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is playing good. No need to jump any ships right now. But the thing is, Jaden Daniels, like, it's not like he's just a rushing quarterback. But that obviously, if you take that ability away from him, I think that he loses that element, which I think is giving him the advantage in some of the shorter passing and in some of these deep balls too. That's the thing. He has a deep ball, like, and he is extremely accurate, and he's dotting up. Like, I mean, that De'Ami Brown touchdown was beautiful, and like I said, that deep throw to McLaurin to set up the Brian Robinson touchdown was, I mean, like, he's making beautiful passes. Like, it's not just he's some mobile quarterback who's dinking and dunking. Like, he's able to dink and dunk, and he's able to get the ball downfield efficiently. So I don't know. It's kind of like, and I'm sure this isn't a die out, but it's like, it's fun. Like, the Commanders are like my guilty pleasure as a Giants fan. Like, I kind of enjoy watching the Commanders. I kind of root for them, which is weird. I really shouldn't be.
Oh, I don't do that. Yeah, you're insane.
Dude, no. I'm just kind of like, good for you, Jaden. You know, I'm like, good for you, buddy. I don't know. I really like him, but it's just, it sucks that he's a Commander. You know, it's like, but yeah.
I agree. They'd be more fun if they were out of the division, maybe even out of the conference too. But that's a lot. But definitely out of the division. Yeah, like you said. I mean, any great quarterback, any very good quarterback who needs their feet to be great, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Jaden McDaniels, you take away the rushing, they're just not good enough or special. But it's nice to see that Daniels has used his arm before this game a lot to his benefit, and the numbers have shown. So, yeah, I mean, use these dual threat quarterbacks for the future. Everybody's looking for them, you know. And that's the way of the world, and it makes sense. You have to be able to run you have to have your quarterback has to be a threat to run the ball in the backfield, or if a play breaks down in today's game. And you know, these 6'4", 6'5" statue gunslinger quarterbacks are just out of flavor, and then just not, you know, it makes sense. Look at guys like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
unless you're Joe Flacco. If you're Joe Flacco, then
that's impressive. Yeah, what he's doing is just amazing.
Yeah. I don't know why more people didn't pursue him in the offseason.
I agree. Hey. I guess they're concerned about the age has got to fall off eventually, you'd think. But as a backup in a 3 quarterback team league now for the NFL, oh my God, backup absolutely. Some teams maybe as a starter.
100%. But yeah, I mean, dude, on the other side of the ball, hey, you might. I don't know if you want to thank the Commanders or not, but it seems like maybe they have finally ended Deshaun Watson's reign. So maybe you'll be facing Jameis Winston next week. I don't think there's any definitive news on that yet.
Jameis Winston, I will tell you this. If they bench, I'll be pissed at Washington, because Winston is where it's better than Deshaun Watson. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. 100%.
Besides the fact that Deshaun Watson is just so bad, Winston actually can go in there, win you games. He still moves the ball, unless this year is different from years before. But you know, I will be pissed at Washington. Browns, you need Deshaun for this week. Trust me.
Yeah, this is at least one more week for the Eagles' sake. Yeah, no, but dude, it was like unwatchable football. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I like not just his allegations, but his play on the field. Deshaun Watson, gross, dude. Just
they get sacked so many times too. It just gets like it's so. I think Washington probably finished around 5-6 sacks. It's just so repetitive with that game. Bad offense, sacks, a lot of when you move on. They're train wreck of an organization. All the money's guaranteed to Deshaun, which is insane. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's just I feel so bad, and I feel bad. It's like Kevin Stefanski has won like Coach of the Year like twice.
I still think he's a good coach. Yeah.
I know.
Can't coach that.
Yeah, you can't coach all, and like their O line does suck right now too. So it's not.
Yeah.
So that's like a lot of injuries. But I do like the way that Dan Quinn is deploying this defense. I mean, just getting the linebackers in there. But Bobby Wagner, like a sack and a half. Like I said, Frankie Louvu, 2.5 sacks. But yeah, I like he's getting creative with his personnel, and it's been working out thus far. We'll see because they're playing a really good Ravens offense next week. So, but we'll get into that later. Anything else you want to talk about for these Washington Commanders?
Well, it's a good point you made with the linebackers, and they certainly have named linebackers for sure. It's just wild to see how linebackers can have such an impact on a team in winning games because the Eagles have nothing in their linebacker room, and the linebackers they have miss 15 tackles a game. So, Dan Quinn obviously is a very I don't want him as a head coach. As a defensive mind, I think he's pretty good. So, they got players in the free agency on defense specifically. I didn't know how it'll turn out, and it's working for now. Let's see them go against some more high-powered offenses for sure.
Yeah, it's early in the season. Like there's I mean, do you remember the Carolina Panthers their hot start 3-4 years ago? And they ultimately were atrocious. So it's just, I mean, they look good now. And if you're a Commanders fan, you're not like, oh, well, you got to believe in it. You got to ride the highs when you get them.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah.
You've been, and you have an awesome, exciting rookie quarterback. You got fun pieces on the defense in Louvu and Wagner. Yeah. And Terry McLaurin finally has a competent quarterback, and look what he's doing. So, congrats for you, Commanders fans. I think everybody's happy for you. I mean, maybe not us in the NFC East, but everybody else, I think, is very happy for you guys. You want to move on to this?
4-1. That's crazy. Jeez.
Yeah. 4-1. And second seed in the NFC. Not the, early, but still. Second seed.
Right.
Pretty solid. Yeah, and we'll see, dude. I mean, like next week is a true test, and we'll get into that. But that would be really that's gonna be the narrative changer either way. Like if they win that game, Commanders all the way. People are thinking Commanders are a threat deep in the playoffs. If they lose, I think you still have hope for them. They're a young team, but it kind of pump the brakes on all the hype. All right. Are you ready for the Cowboys Steelers?
I'm ready. Wow. I'm looking through their schedule. Oh my God. It helps to be last in your division. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Let me tell you. Wow. But
You want to go through it? Do you want to go through the schedule real quick?
Sure. Ravens next week, but if it's an away game, half hour away, so not the worst thing. Panthers at home, Bears at home, Giants on the road, Steelers at home, Eagles on the road, Dallas at home, Titans at home, Saints on the road, Eagles at home, Atlanta at home, Dallas on the road. Wow.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, those are all look like winnable games.
Who would have scheduled like that last year? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No.
I gotta think. I gotta think of which team. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Detroit.
Yeah,
they had a similar schedule where they were also a good team, but oh my God, look at their schedule. It was ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. It's a quick turnaround league. We've seen it before. Last to first easily every year. It kind of makes it great in the NFL with the salary
cap. And first to last sometimes too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, first to last, last to first. Yep.
Two teams, two great historic franchises. After plenty of weather delay and a very late start, the Cowboys edge it out in Pittsburgh. They, at the end there, despite a relatively ugly game. The Cowboys win 20-17 in Pittsburgh. Dak Prescott actually played really well if you take away the 3 really costly, ugly turnovers. But like those aren't just outliers. You know, like Dak Prescott, who I believe led the league in interceptions 2 years ago. These aren't outliers. And yes, they ultimately won the game. It was a close game. Give them props. Congrats, Cowboys. You won that game. You have a tough game moving forward. But you gotta relish the wins where they come. But yeah, I mean, 2 red zone interceptions and I believe a red zone fumble as well. I mean, it's just you don't want to see it. And you saw CeeDee Lamb was pissed on that first interception in the first half. And also, going down in history, Dak Prescott, the first person to throw 2 interceptions on 2 different days in the same game. Congrats, Dak Prescott.
Wait. Say that again?
He threw 2 interceptions in different days during the same game.
Oh, that is wild.
Because it crossed into
the weather, right?
Yeah, because one in the beginning of the game, one in the end to Joey Porter Jr. Yeah, I mean, let's give the Cowboys their flowers. 2 weeks in a row of a great run defense against a Steelers team who loves to run the ball. Held Justin Fields to only 27 yards. Hold Najee Harris to 42 yards and only three per carry. And just there's really nothing going on the ground. And then even the receiving game. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, I don't think got thrown to once. And Amani Oruwariye did well enough. I mean, no receiver had over 26 yards, and Najee Harris had 35 on, as the running back, as their leading receiver. So, yeah, just made the Steelers look pretty awful, and that was missing Micah Parsons, who might not play next week either, Jamarcus Lawrence, who's on IR, and then they lose their third best edge rusher, Marshawn Nealand, the rookie, who's starting to step up. So you got guys like Tyrus Wheat, who had half a sack, stepping up, and Chauncey Goldston with half a sack stepping up. But yeah, definitely interesting for this Cowboys defense. And they had 11 penalties, and 2 of them were. This is the second week in a row where they've had 2 taunting and penalties. So Mike McCarthy, you got to get on that, man. You want your team to be a little chippy, but when you're playing these close games like this, you can't be getting stupid penalties.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Dowdle actually ran the ball well.
He did.
4.3 yards per carry on 20 touches, around 87 yards. I think that's amazing for him and for that run game, because I just don't think there's anything there. So if they can get that, definitely need to win games. They rushed the ball, I think, 11 more times for 22 yards combined. Not good enough there, but Dowdle definitely picked it up. Yeah, just weird. It's like Dak, over 350 throwing, but threw the ball 42 times. It's a lot, in my opinion, especially when they scored 20 points. Obviously, the turnovers in the red zone are the difference. But that's sort of that's not fluky. They happen for a reason. That's what Dak does. So you really have to, I think you said earlier, it fits the narrative. You can't just rule them off, because that's what they do.
Yeah, they were. It's not like they were they weren't fluky interceptions either. They were
right.
I mean, that first interception to whatever Deion Jackson or Dante Jackson, was, dude. I mean, directly to him. And CeeDee Lamb even was like, "What the hell are you doing, dude?" Yeah, because that was a CeeDee Lamb touchdown, which I needed for my fantasy team. Thanks, Dak.
Well, relying on Dak is just bold in general, but
yeah,
I guess. It doesn't make you – I don't know. It doesn't make you feel good about Dallas, because I don't think they're going to get that offensive run production going forward, or at least anywhere close to consistently.
Yeah. I mean, well, you could argue Pittsburgh does have a good run defense, and this was the first time that Rico Dowdle carried the ball for more than 12 carries. So like you actually let him get going. So maybe that's the recipe. Like that's
You
what
could
you
say
could
that.
argue.
You could say that. I think that this would be more of an outlier. I think that even if you have a good defensive run game, you can always have games where you just play poorly, and I think that would be something like this. And like, let's be honest too. Like, 20 for 87, pretty good. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
it's not amazing, and it's not like game changing either. Like, it's also like for Dallas, it definitely is ultimately because I just don't they can't run the ball at all. But yeah, I think this is more of an outlier. Like, yes, like see, Pittsburgh can stop the run very well, and I think some games maybe not so. And I think this is just one of them for some reason. Don't know why, but yeah, you have to win. You can't be mad at winning. So if you're Dallas, it's like you go on the road weather-wise, tough place in Pittsburgh, deep travel for them, tough place to play, pretty good fan base too with the Steelers. So coming out of there with a win is, you can't that can't be lost. I guess for them, it definitely won't be lost for them because they are frauds. But I guess as a whole, it, you came there to win it. You got the win. Just bad sloppy football from a team that I don't think has enough offensively. Like, I think they should go out and trade for Devontae Adams. You just need more. They need to trade for a running back too, but like, I think that with like someone like Adams, this off like it's not that good. And like, yeah, you can squeak out 2017 games here and there. Ultimately, though, you'll fall your face eventually just because of lack of playmakers, lack of offense.
Yeah, I don't think anybody like the Cowboys team even last year, I feel like was, one that teams were dreading going into. But even like, in years past where they dominated the Giants, I mean, I think the Giants looked like the better team last week. And we
Yeah.
ultimately lost, but in a one-score game. Jalen Tolbert, though, I know that we've criticized him. He's had his best game ever in this
He
game with a
picked it
game-winning
up.
touchdown. I mean, that's and I think too, obviously Brandon Cooks is hurt, but when you have a young player that kind of that has a game like this, you start kind of moving in that direction. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Tolbert is the wide receiver too moving forward, unless they get somebody like Devontae Adams, which would be nuts.
We'll see. I think Tolbert needs more consistency in games going forward, but Cooks picked it up at the second half of last year, I think, and it definitely, even though I never thought he was. Well, no, second half I thought he was okay, but before first however many games last year, really bad, and now it seems like they're missing him badly. But I still think that you need more besides Cook. So not sure where you go there. Yeah, maybe, and I think you also need a running back too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think and usually I'm concerned with Dallas regardless because they're usually such a strong team. This year, and then maybe they still beat you because division rivals, camaraderie, everything going on. But I don't know. I think this defense is just the offense is really lacking.
Yeah.
On
and
the
then when you
ground,
don't have
in the air,
Dak operating at like peak Dak levels, like the quarterback
that
that you made him to
that
be.
too.
And yes, he did. Like if you take away those, like I said, if you take away those turnovers, sure, he looks like he had a phenomenal game, but those turnovers ultimately almost cost him the game. So
yeah, the offense. I mean, we see the numbers with the offense. He threw for a lot. They ran for a good bit. I think they ran for over 100 by a little. Yeah, it's correct the issues. It's a different conversation for sure, but the issues like with the Eagles keep happening, and it's I don't know. I think and better players maybe too around that team might help with the issues and turning it over. I think I think if you trade for someone like Adams, trade for a interesting running back. Arizona's
according to
Arizona?
Reddit,
Yeah,
Devontae Adams is going to the Jets. That was of 10 minutes ago, but that was also according to Reddit, so I don't really trust it. But Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, that's another team that needs it too. Uh, needs a running
Yeah.
back or she's wide receiver. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, like guys, like if Arizona's like packing it in, they're not very good. If you're Dallas, you call for like James Conner? Like
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think I can't believe how much time I'm invested in trying to make Dallas a better team, but it offensively for the first time it just looks. And last year, I think you said too, looked a little dreadful, but they picked
No.
it up and they still and like they looked better. They just looked better than this. And you said
Yeah.
it earlier too. Didn't do much in the offseason. Didn't do
No.
really anything
No.
in the offseason. What they
And
do on
your secret
offense?
weapon, nothing. Oh no. No, they
Yeah.
got worse. Yeah, and then their secret weapon, Brandon Aubrey. I think after all that hype on Thursday Night Football about how automatic he is, and he's missed 2 field goals since then. So
He
how? Yeah,
I that's why I think that either domes should be banned or everybody should have a dome because it's a diff for some of these kickers, uh, godsend for them that they get to kick in domes, especially like AT&T. I think AT&T is like different for the domes. Like I don't know because like the noise is distributed better. Like in the Saints, it's just like all the noise is on top of you, and they might be pumping
yeah,
in noise too. But I don't
yeah.
know.
Mercedes Benz too, beautiful over in Atlanta. That's a good dub.
Oh yeah. True.
Bless me.
Plus you.
Mm,
But
thank you.
yeah, if you're Dallas, it's a strong win also because you just have to win in the NFL. Winning ugly is winning ugly. You want to get better, but winning is the most important thing, and I'll always say that. So in that case, it's a great product. Not a great product, but a great result for Dallas on the road, battling
Yeah,
the elements, which, is definitely weird. Those guys want to start the games. The games are already late enough on Sunday Night Football. They just want to start it. So that is definitely real
no, that
adversity for
sucked.
sure.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and hey, Dak Prescott made the best of it. He said, "This is gonna be a game we remember." And honestly, it was like, if you're a Cowboys fan, it's exciting with getting the game-winning, you know, drive over there, and the offense was marching down the field, even if it had some bad turnouts. Like it was definitely a game to remember for Cowboys fans, and just like those weather games, they're always. It's definitely one to remember
Yeah.
going into Monday. Um, The other thing with Tyler Guyton, who didn't play amazing either, but he gets
It's
hurt.
almost like he's not ready to play.
Almost, yeah,
Almost
yeah.
like you
I think
probably
he's
it's almost like you probably should sit the first year to see because it's a very important position and you're gonna hurt your quarterback if you're not good enough.
yeah, but I guess on the bright side, Tyler Smith kicks out to left tackle, which we saw him his rookie year as at a tackle. He played well. Didn't really. I mean, it seemed just about as good, if not maybe even a little better. And then they
Yeah.
had second-year player Tyler Bass coming at guard, who didn't really struggle all that much. So it might be good ultimately for the Cowboys having Guyton out, but not in the long run because obviously you want him to develop. But maybe for this year's hopes, it might be solid. And I don't even know. Let's see if there's any update on Tyler Guyton. It's always pretty early. But is there anything else you want to talk about for this Cowboys team?
I don't think so. I listen, Cowboys.
Yeah.
You need better offensive players.
Yeah. It's fair. That's good. I mean, that's true.
I can't believe I'm
That's fair.
saying that. I can't believe like I'm trying to.
No,
It's just bad.
I mean, if you wanted to, I think this is always fun, like seeing like trade candidates. I think James Conner, like you said, it's a good one. I'm
Yeah, I
trying
don't
to
know.
think.
I sort of pulled him out of out of like the back of my head just because bad team, intriguing running back,
Well, they
and
just beat the Niners, so that was.
I know, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the trade deadline's still like a month away, so
yeah, no doubt, things will
still.
shape up.
Mm. We'll trade you Eric Gray if you'd like him. He might fumble the ball on the 1 yard line for you, but you can take him. I'm trying to think of other running backs, other crowded running back rooms. I'll tell you what, dude. Brees Hall is not.
Miami has 100.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
Brees Hall,
Although they're
yeah.
going through him, Devon Achane got injured,
Yep.
so that But yeah, Mostert and dude, Jalen Wright, who I really liked too. Like, there was so many fun, intriguing running backs in this draft, and for the Cowboys not to get a single one still blows my mind. And then even in the late rounds, we got Tyrone Tracy in the fifth, and Tyrone Tracy's looking good, dude, running hard, man.
Well, again, we want to see more consistency, but I get it.
Yeah,
Dallas was dumb. They told everybody they wanted Jonathan Brooks, and the other teams are like, okay, well, we're going to ruin your day and Carolina ultimately took him, and it doesn't seem like they did much homework. I mean, I'm sure they did some on other running backs, but not enough. It's just bad. It's weird.
Yeah. You want to know what? The Bears have a pretty crowded room. They could go try to get Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson. Yeah. Probably not Roshan because he's young and it's his second year, but
maybe Herbert.
They can maybe get Khalil. Yeah.
Herbert's turning into an old reliable though for Chicago, but maybe for sure.
Yeah, I feel like any team that has 3 running backs that can make, but they're also, if the Chicago Bears are in a playoff race, I don't think they're gonna part ways with,
Yeah, I mean, if they want to get interesting, trade Shift, you get off the contract. He's played decently, I think, this year. But if you're Chicago, you're not going to win it this year. You get off his contract. Maybe you can find a cheaper running back to draft next year. I don't know, but we're getting ahead of ourselves for sure.
Yeah. All right. So then let's move on here. Me and Jeremy have an NFC East fantasy league. It's a best ball, all NFC East. Which I was thinking, there's some players that have been playing well that neither of us have, which I think is funny. Let's see here. Let me pull this up. I got it somewhere. Yeah, so this is a best ball all NFC East draft. So we both drafted NFC East players. I had this somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, but there's a few players that neither of us drafted. One of them, like Zach Ertz. I don't know why neither of us got Zach Ertz. Jalen Tolbert.
I think who was the second one?
Jalen Tolbert.
Wide
receiver. Yeah,
you just never know who's gonna emerge.
Yeah,
who are bottom depth chart players.
Yeah, especially with injuries and with the Eagles being on a bye. So these are the results. I'm going to have them up here on the screen. But my team, I had Daniel Jones. So it's best ball. So whatever, best quarterback, best 2 running backs, best 2 wide receivers, tight end, flex. That's it. Daniel Jones was better than Jaden Daniels fantasy-wise. This is half-point PPR. It's 22.08. Rico Dowdle with a good game. Got 18.4. Tyrone with a fucking crazy Jr. got 13.5. Should have gotten in the end zone. That would have been nice. Wan'Dale Robinson with a flat 13. CeeDee Lamb with 8.9. Jake Ferguson with 10 points. And I have Austin Eckler in my flex with 10.7 for a total of 96.58. Jeremy, before I get into yours, do you think your team fared better or worse?
You put out another good week. I'm going to say worse this week.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Dak Prescott was your obviously.
I only have one option at quarterback, too.
Yeah. So 16.8, and then with Saquon not being there, Ezekiel Elliott was your running back, too, at 1.7 points. Brian Robinson, Jr., 13.8. Darius Slayton, good pick there, 22.2. Wow. Terry McLaurin, 11.4. And then Daniel Bellinger was your tight end other than Dallas Goedert. He didn't get any passes. So you had 0 points at the tight end position. And De'Ami Brown coming in hot with 12.7 for a total of 78.18. Not the best showing, but.
What did you finish with?
96.58.
I guess if I got anything out of tight ends,
you had a chance.
with that. If I didn't have to pick Zeke, that's a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we should like add maybe next week, unless you want to do it right now. But we could like do the undrafted, an ad, maybe like
Yeah,
3 players a pop.
that might be a good idea. Just I either or works. I like that idea because it sort of probably bumps up scoring a little bit to have more options. Of course, um, I think I think the first. I'd somehow get the first pick and immediately run up to get Zach Ertz. But um, either or works. It's kind of it. It gets tough if some guys get hurt for a long time, which makes it interesting too. But yeah, I'm down for either for sure. Good
Well,
idea.
I think it'd just be good because I mean, it's just kind of cool because shows like fantasy is a huge thing, so it kind of shows like who amongst the NFC East players are like reliable. And
Yeah,
Wan'Dale Robinson, even though he's not putting up big yards, even with half point PPR, when he gets 7 receptions a game,
yeah.
is usually a factor.
You had
Yeah,
some guys who I thought just a few receivers who like I didn't think were like amazing, like still double digit in points. So yeah,
yeah,
half point PPR helps, no doubt.
yeah. Well, when Austin Eckler is catching
Yeah,
the
that
ball, and
killed.
running the
Jesus,
ball,
oh my
even
god.
if he's just doing both for like 30 yards, like he's
Yep,
still and he
yep.
finds his way into the end zone. So he's been a good pick. Um, do you want to add these players now, or you want to wait one more week and just kind of roll with what we got?
Let's wait. Let's sit on it a little bit, and I think maybe wait a week. Yeah.
All right, cool. Then let's preview these upcoming games real quick here. We got some fun ones, and I'm really excited because I'm going to be at one of these games next week. The New York Football Giants Sunday Night Football in MetLife. Very excited for that. Let me just pull up. Where are all my... Boom. There we go. So let's start with the Washington Commanders are playing at the 1 o'clock Eastern slot in Baltimore. The Battle of Virginia, Maryland. And the Ravens, who are 3-2, who snuck out a crazy win against the Bengals last week,
Yes.
dominated the Bills, upset by a bad Raiders team, and honestly cheated out of a win to start the season against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Start off 0-2. First week was against Kansas City. So yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is still the Ravens, whether they just want to run the ball with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, or if they want to just sprinkle it through their 3 tight ends, and even if they're avoiding Mark Andrews, it seems like, the Baltimore Ravens are definitely still respected as one of the best teams in the league, even at 3-2.
Yes.
And the Washington Commanders definitely have this is a big prove it game. Like because the Ravens defense is still stout, even though they did let up 38 points last week by the Bengals, but
It
they
happens.
still have some very key pieces, and like they also held a really good Bills offense to 10 points. So I do want to pull up the spread here, Jeremy. What are your thoughts on this game?
Derrick Henry is approaching 100 carries on the year. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. Has scored 6 times. He's been really impressive. I think considering age, injuries, how he'd be on a new team after playing his entire career on one team. At his age, of course, with the injuries, like I said. Um, in fact, how old is he? 30. So it should be a fun game, assuming Washington plays the way they have for most of the season. It's
Yeah,
kind of a home game too for Washington in a way, or
I'm sure they'll show out.
as
Yeah,
home as it gets for an away game. Um, I still think Baltimore wins. They're better. I think it's a test for Washington. I guess I could see Washington could win ultimately if Baltimore just can't figure Washington out offensively. But yeah, I think Baltimore wins. Lamar can always go loopy, and
yeah,
Derrick Henry helps be the difference. But if they also have Lamar rushing, and I'm not sold on Washington's secondary either.
No. Yeah, and even though they have great linebackers, there's some very athletic tight ends for the Washington or for the Ravens. That obviously Isaiah Likely, even Mark Andrews is just a physical beast, and then Charlie Kohler has just been showing out too. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But this is fun because you got the two mobile quarterbacks. Like we got Jaden Daniels, who's kind of like the 2.0 version of Lamar Jackson, who I think is a better passer even as a rookie still. And Lamar Jackson has improved as a passer, obviously 2-time MVP. But the spread is Commanders plus 6.5, and the over-under is at 52.5, which is probably the highest over-under I would say this week. Definitely. Yeah. I'm going to give the Commanders the points because they have been showing out. And this Bengals team was able to put up some points on a stout Ravens defense. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Commanders. If the Commanders win this game, like I said, the whole narrative changes for Washington. Like we're going to be waking up Monday to Commanders have arrived. Jaden Daniels is in the MVP conversation, not just the Rookie of the Year conversation. It's coming if they win.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Jeremy? So you said are you taking Ravens with the minus 6.5 as well?
Such a big number. I think I'll take Washington at plus 6.5.
Yeah, which is crazy because like I know that just goes to show that people don't fully believe in this Washington team.
No doubt. I think that in a way, I think Vegas is trying to hedge too because I think that if it's lower, well, obviously, if it's lower, I think that becomes very intriguing for everyone to go towards Baltimore, and I think Baltimore can cover the lower numbers ultimately. So yeah, I think I'd go Washington with the way they're playing. And of course, watch Baltimore blow them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely in the cards. That's what I'm like. We haven't seen anything like that yet, so that's why it's hard to predict. And I feel like we just sound like haters if you do predict that. Yeah. Plus, like this is like probably the hottest team in there we go in the NFL right now. I would say. Next game. The Browns at the Eagles. Jeremy, I'll let you take it away here.
Well, the Eagles were on a bye last week, which I think was helpful for a number of reasons. Injuries, so many injuries so far, so much poor play. You don't hope for a bye in week 5, but this team somehow needed it amazingly. So I think the bye will be good. I think the opponent they're playing is great, and not great instant playing wise, it's great in a team you'd want to play. In the Cleveland Browns, it's in Philadelphia. It's the first home game for the Eagles that isn't prime time. So the Eagles have had technically two home games, one in Brazil and one in week 2, Monday night or Sunday night against Atlanta. I think it's a 1:00 game.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully that'll be a recipe for success. Not prime time like they usually are. I think they win. I don't know the line. I think they cover. I think you got to hammer
minus 8.5. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Line is minus 8.5, and honestly, over unders at 43.5.
Yeah.
And it's minus 8.5, and it's in favor, of the Eagles at minus 8.5 with minus 1.
A big number. I think I'd go over all the points because of both defenses. Well, not the Browns haven't. I think their defense is okay, but they haven't really shown it this year.
Yeah,
I go over on points. I think maybe I want to say Eagles cover. I'll go Eagles cover. I guess. Yeah.
I want to say Eagles cover 2 just because the Browns have been so awful, but
Yeah. They've
okay,
lost
so
by so many points.
Devonta Smith's playing though, right?
We haven't heard much word on him, but hopefully, yes.
All right, yeah. Oh yeah. So it sounds like AJ Brown and
Everyone's
Devonta Smith.
expected to be back.
That's awesome for you
Yeah.
guys. I mean,
Yeah, it's great.
as a fan,
It's fantastic. Would have loved it for the Bucks game.
Wait, the Jets fired Robert Saleh?
Breaking news! I love when we get breaking news.
What? Is,
They
I mean,
it
wow.
seemed like
Just a little early in the season for a team that still has playoff hopes.
yeah, but it seemed like if they were going to lose this game coming up, that it was inevitable. So I guess maybe they're getting ahead of it.
Wow, I thought I was going to see that Devontae Adams.
You have a text message line with Woody Johnson, it looks like.
No, I have, dude, Underdog Sports, which I have because I play some like the best ball fantasy. They're always like 10 minutes ahead of everybody else. I don't know how.
Jesus.
You know? Because they don't even really have like any. I guess they have Bill Belichick working for them now, but I don't think he's an insider.
You never know. You never know with Bill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotta save the season. But alas.
You didn't name the head coach interim, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett, which is really Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Hackett's with the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That'll be so funny. They can't. He might be the worst head coach in head coach history, but yeah.
You get a head coaching job strictly because I think they were trying to lure Aaron Rodgers in there.
Wow, there you go. That's everything's I mean,
all right.
We just got the Schefter tweet. All right.
Yeah, it's official now.
Official.
Anything else for this Eagles game, or you want to move on here?
Yeah, Jalen, you can't turn the ball over.
That's true. Turnover machine.
Yeah. Get the ball to your playmakers. You have so many. Saquon, Devontae, AJ Goddard, Lane's back. Defense, get right game. Maybe add some pressure for a change. I just hate the Eagles. I hate the bend don't break. I think it's stupid. I don't think it fits the NFL today. And I think you need it's a tough defense to run. You need good players to run it. That's why I think somehow the Browns might be in the game longer than they should be. I think the Eagles should smack them. And if not, you have serious problems. You might already have serious problems. But yeah, you're gifted this game after the bye at home. Take care of business.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to. This is like if the Eagles lose this one, then I feel like, it's like you said, still early. Only 5 games.
That might be the season.
Definitely the hopes and dreams of the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're already a lot of people already said Super Bowl might be out, and they're like, if they get to the divisional round, that could be a success. Not a success. People wouldn't be happy, but it would be quote unquote impressive, I guess. So not good all around. Got to play better. Schedule is certainly lining up for them going forward. But you got to collect wins at this point. You got to take care of business.
Yeah.
For multiple weeks.
Okay, so let's move on to this Dallas game then. The Detroit Lions 3-1, coming off a bye week, coming off a big win against the Seahawks on primetime, go into Dallas after a tight win, also in primetime, against the Steelers, and still no word on the Micah Parsons. I guess it does. It's early, but it seems like he probably won't be ready for this game. Demarcus Lawrence is out. I believe Marshawn Leland will also be out, and still day-to-day on Tyler Guyton. Those are a lot of key injuries against their best players against a really good Detroit Lions team.
Yeah.
The spread is currently at Detroit Lions -3. So the Dallas Cowboys are home dogs.
At home?
It's in Detroit.
Oh.
I mean, no, it's in Dallas. It's in Dallas. Yeah. So the Cowboys are home underdogs. Lions -3.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, oh my God. I was gonna say hammer if Detroit was home. Detroit wins. They cover. Better team. I think it would be good to see Detroit beat a good team or a semi-good team too.
Yeah.
At least a good team in name brand and whatever way you look at it. Detroit wins. They cover. Dallas loses. They don't cover.
Yeah. So all those Rico Dowdle lovers that are ready to give Rico Dowdle the rushing title. This is going to be a really tough test. The Lions have Aleem McNeil, who is just a unit up front. I'm sure and then I believe is DJ Reader is he healthy currently? Because I believe that I know he's on the Lions, but I don't know if he's dealing, but yes, he is healthy. So they got a stout front, not to mention like great linebacker play too, by these Detroit Lions. So we'll see if that's a test, and if they eliminate that, let's see if we can get CeeDee Lamb going. I feel like CeeDee Lamb's only really had one good game this season. I feel like he's kind of been shut down when he's been revered as like a top 5 wide receiver and probably top 2 last season. So yeah, I think I agree with you though. I think not only because I'm a Giants fan, but I think everybody loves the Lions. I think the Lions are like one of the most beloved teams. I have them going to the Super Bowl. I think they were pretty close to going to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah,
the team looks great. They have 2 great. I mean, they have so many mouths to feed on offense. They're like the opposite of the Dallas Cowboys. Like they have. I mean, Sam Laporta, I feel like is barely getting fed because you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously. You got Jamison Williams, who's waking up.
And the long ball guy.
Great. Yeah. You got Jared Goff coming off his historical game. What was he, 18 for 18 against the Seahawks? Yeah. And
small number ultimately, but still very impressive.
Yeah. It's still unreal, especially because of the output that he had.
No doubt.
And then Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are the best running back room in the league. I mean, especially because they complement each other with their skill sets. So, yeah, this is going to be a test for the Dallas defense that is very short on edge rushers. We'll see how Tyus Wheat does and Chauncey Golston. But, yeah, this is going to be a test. And especially also the run defense. They're going against two – I mean, I'm not going to lie. If you just go on these matchups, like, yes, the run defense held up the past 2 games. But
yes.
They're screwed. I mean, I think I'm not going to lie. The lock of the week might be, and I might be eating my words, but I think the lock of the week is Detroit Lions -3.
Yeah, I mean, I think you went into more detail, which was nice to have the context. If you want to break it down more, you could just look at, really see the difference. But yeah, Detroit's just a much better team than Dallas.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that one's that, and then we're finishing up another NFC East Sunday night football game. And I've said it about 3 times because I'm super stoked to be going there, celebrating my brother's 30th birthday early. Shout out Nick Gnitzcavich if you're watching this late in the show, which I think you're one of the few people that do watch.
Yes, Nick.
So thank you.
Nick doesn't watch.
Yeah, he watches.
I don't blame you, Nick.
He watches this late, dude. It's all right, dude. And if you are watching, guys, just like and subscribe. If or if you're one of my friends that just puts it on and walks away, so that we have to use things for that too. Yeah, the Giants home underdogs. Giants are +3.5 with the Bengals coming in. The 1-4 Bengals. The 1-4 Bengals, but then over under. I think it's second highest over under set at 49 points. Which is, and I think that's a testament to people seeing the Giants actually put up some points lately. Not really. I mean, not really, but we've been better. Malik Neighbors, I think, will definitely be back. I thought he was going to be back for the Seahawks game. Now that the offense seems unleashed, I don't know if Devin Singletary is going to be back, but seeing how Daniel Jones operated, spreading the ball, I think getting Malik Neighbors back with this O-line playing the way that it has, I think against an explosive Bengals team, the Giants need to be dominant on offense to win this game. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm expecting it. I'm hammering the over. I'm hammering Giants plus 3.5 because I think we're going to win this game. Although the Bengals are very hungry. Joe Burrow said that they don't think that they are a championship team after that last loss, which was rough. I mean, Joe Burrow, they let up a 10-point deficit in like the last 5 minutes. Joe Burrow threw an interception. Yeah, it was and then I'll let you get your thoughts on this, Jeremy. What do you think for the spread? What are your picks here?
Sorry, what's the line?
Giants plus 3.5.
I feel like that's the reaction every time I hear a spread.
The Vegas picks him.
I wish it were a little higher. I wish it were just 2 points higher. I get it, but and I get why they're not at 4.5 because games hardly ever end in 5 points. In the NFL. 3.5.
3.5.
Well, that gives me a field goal if the Giants lose, which I kind of like because I think they can play with the Bengals. I think they can win too, but I also think that'll be a product of the Bengals losing. I'll go Giants win. And obviously they cover.
All right. Hey, you know what? Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate the hope. It's not that it'll win us the game, but I appreciate the hope. This is the thing.
They're playing decent football. They've played their defensive play has played decent football for the most part. The Bengals. I have to be honest, Sean. A lot of the reasons I think the Bengals are just bad. It never feels like you should be bad when you have a guy like Burrow, but I think the team's just bad. Their defense is awful. Offensively, they haven't really figured it out. Moss and Brown are splitting carries. They're doing okay, but nothing too special on the ground in terms of actual yardage per game. Yeah, I'll go Giants. Giants outright.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, dude? And this is the thing, too. Some keys to victory. Well, I am worried because Jamar Chase and T. Higgins went off last week, and our secondary – as of right now, I believe everybody is healthy, but we need Deonte Banks to step up a little bit. Mm-hmm. He played a lot better against the Seahawks and did a good job. He got chewed out by Jerome Henderson, our secondary coach, after letting up that big touchdown to CeeDee Lamb and kind of dogging it instead of trying to tackle him. We need that, but I think this is going to be an LSU receiver off. I'm going to get Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase. Prime time. I'm not going to be watching it from home, but I'm sure that's what the whole narrative for the prime time Sunday Night Football is going to be, is about the LSU receivers. And but I also think a big key to this victory is Deonte Banks doing well. But on top of that, taking some pressure off our secondary with our pass rush, because I believe Amarius Mims, the rookie, is starting for them because Trent Brown is out. I think for the season. And then Orlando Brown Jr., good tackle, but I think you can also get the best of him. He's not elite. So Giants win that game. I say I want to do the over because I feel like it will be hopefully high scoring, at least for the Giants' sake. Anything else on that, Jeremy?
Yeah, we'll see if T. Higgins can stay active, and if because they need just like every team, they need that second wide receiver. It seems like when he's not there, when he's not healthy, when he's not producing. It's just kind of a bland air offense for the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't know how confident I feel with my pick. We'll see. Defense.
We'll see.
Defense wins.
Yeah. Hey, listen, guys. If you guys are at the game, I will be there with the Gnitzcaviches. Like I said, section.
Everybody's going.
I got a lot of friends going. Actually, well, no, it's just me, my dad, and my brother. Nah.
Okay.
Yeah. The ladies didn't really want to, and that's fine. Dude, it's gonna be a bro time, bro fest.
Sure.
Just the dudes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still watching, Jeremy, do you have anything you want to say to the viewers?
I do not. Continue to watch.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yes, that
Thank
too.
you guys. Go Giants. I guess just go Giants. The other teams. Good for you.
Might be the most accurate comment, honestly.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week.